What's going on, film fans? Welcome back to our channel. We are the usual skeptics, back again with another video. My name is Gabriel. You can simply call me Reed. Back again, we're covering CinemaCon 2023. Tonight is Sony's presentation. Wes, before we get into this thing, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, Reed. Um, doing real good. Just got off work. Uh, Another video, man. I'm super excited to be back. Ready to talk about this. This is some exciting stuff, going on. Good stuff today, but really can't wait till the Disney stuff comes out and see what they've got in store for us. So, um, that being said, let's get into it, guys.
All right, man. I said my name's Reed. I'm just kidding. So we tried to do this live. I know Sony was a bit late. Wes, like you said, had to work a little bit late. So we were trying to do this live, experiment with it. Didn't work out tonight as we had hoped. So this video will be up probably first thing in the morning. But Sony's presentation is probably still going on as the recording right now. So let's just get in this thing while it's going. Wes, man, so I've been excited. All right, CinemaCon. I've said it on our channel before. I love the Oscars, my favorite day of the year. I think CinemaCon is like my favorite event of the year, right? It's my favorite. Like it's to be a film fan, CinemaCon is like Comic Con for nerds, right? And as much as we
Yep.
love San Diego Comic Con, but Sony kicked off today's presentation, kicking off Monday. Let me tell you, I read just a couple things through here just to see how much we were in store for. And my God, is there some good stuff? So this comes to us from our friends at Deadline. Sony Pictures launches CinemaCon with Bad Boys. I thought it said Bad Boys 4, Dumb Money, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and more. We're going to kind of read through this, so just bear with us, and then we'll talk about our thoughts as we go here. So Sony kicked off the first night of CinemaCon with a tape message from Will Smith, Martin Lawrence from the set of Here It Is, ladies and gentlemen, Bad Boys 4. So excited. Smith beamed, "What up, CinemaCon? We're glad we're not there because we're here and they're paying us to be here. Bad Boys 4 is coming. We're hyped, excited. We're in the 4th week of shooting. Everything is going to be spectabulous." He added before bringing Sony Motion's Picture Group president Josh Greenstein on stage, the duo did not announce a title for the new movie, which sees Bad Boys for Life filmmakers, I'm going to butcher this, Adil El Abri and Bilal Fallah, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, returning behind the camera. No date has been set for the sequel. The franchise currently counting $840 million through 3 movies. Not the best IP, Wes, but I, man, just let me hang on this for a second. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I love this franchise. Wife and I took the kids on spring break vacation. Bad Boys 2 was on. We had to watch it. I love Bad Boys, man. Like those first 2 movies. I didn't love the third one. I thought it was fine. Like it was a fine installment, but I don't know. What do you think about Bad Boys? Is that something that you kind of
Yeah,
love? Are you
man.
excited for Bad
I
Boys
mean,
4?
as long as we keep Will Smith's wife's name out of our mouths, we'll be all right. Uh, just, just saying.
Yeah.
No, I like you. I really enjoyed the first 2 movies. I think the third one was kind of okay. But I mean, I do love the franchise. Like I mean, who can go wrong with like those two together? Their chemistry, like everything on screen was just it's really great.
It's
Now,
entertaining.
yeah, and in their later years, let's see how it goes. Let's see if they introduce any younger, maybe trainees or something. Like I don't know what it's going to be about.
Right.
None of us do, but like bringing that. Okay, well, we've been the bad boys. We're still the bad boys, but let's teach the other people what we're doing. That would be what I think they may do, because if they're trying to do the same thing over and over again, we saw in movie 3 that sometimes just doesn't work out too well.
Right.
Um, but the first 2 were amazing. I really enjoyed them. First one just as much as the second one, man.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. Every day
you
I change
know,
my opinion on which one I love more. Like they're
yeah,
both just
exactly,
so fun. I
exactly.
think I think Bad Boys 2 had more of the humor. I know
Hmm.
that's weird to say, and part 1 had kind of more of a story, if that makes sense. It felt a little more clever. Now, if it would have ended after 1, I'd be like, Bad Boys, great movie, right?
Right.
Not the best movie in the world, but it's a fun franchise. Bad Boys 2 is
Yeah.
hilarious. I love the opening sequence at the movie, had the classic Michael Bay skeptical and explosions and the F bombs, and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a great franchise, and it does feel good that they're actually in production in Bad Boys 4. They've been saying it for a couple years now. Oh yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it, doing it. It's like, yeah, are you though? So
But,
but
I mean, like, it's so iconic too, like both movies, so quotable. How many times I can't tell you how many times, and it actually came up tonight that, a buddy of mine was like, "Man, my brother told me that we're gonna have to, with my niece's new boyfriend, we're gonna have to go and, do
oh
the whole
yeah,
Bad Boys 2 scene." I mean, how I can't tell you how many times I've said that. I'm like, "Man, I
it's
wanna do that
hilarious.
so
That
bad."
that's a
It's
that's a small
hilarious.
YouTube video in and of itself, right? And that's just one of the great things about these movies. But now Bad Boys 3, I think, kind of tipped back a little bit. I love the captain in it. I hated that they killed him off. Spoilers. Um, but I mean, did they kill him off? Didn't they
If
fake
you
kill him and
haven't
then they
seen it by now, come on, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now I've only seen it once, but I remembered walking out and going, I enjoyed it. Not my favorite. It's my third least, but hey, if I was bored one Sunday, I'd binge all three of them. I mean, I
Yeah,
liked Will Smith and Martin Lawrence enough just in their chemistry where I don't care about a story. I don't care if this makes sense. I watch Bad Boys 2 and I'm like, none of
I
this
don't
makes
care if
sense,
he
but I
smacked the
love it.
shit out of Chris Rock, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't care. Let's get back into this thing here. So yeah, it talks about how there are 4 weeks in production in Bad Boys 4, and we'll probably get more of that as we go. So there was a lot of noise about the death of Exhibition that the future was streaming. Said Greenstein, Sony stood arm in arm with you. Greenstein told the room of exhibitors at Caesar's Palace Coliseum. Studios that collapsed the windows are now realizing that the value of windows are reversing the course, added Greenstein. Now streamers are given their movies exclusive runs, added Greenstein, who touted that Sony is releasing 20, get this, 23 movies this year alone. That's wild. First film up was an opening clip from Craig Gillespie's directed Dumb Money. I'm so excited for this, by the way. About GameStop stock fever rush, starring Paul Dano, Seth Rogen. Uh, I keep wanting to say something else. Gillespie took the stage.
Gillespie.
Gillespie, thank you, took the stage with Dano. Dumb Money is the true story of how the everyday investor flipped the script, said the director. A YouTuber comes from blue collar family and puts his money into GameStop stock. Daniel added, my character Keith calls himself Roaring Kitty and starts to post YouTube videos. As more regular folks buy GameStop stock, the price goes up and up. In the sequence, Rogan, Nick Offerman, who we adore, and Wes, you just said Nick Offerman's actually coming to our local casino here soon, so
Mhm.
that'd be kind of cool. And other hedge funders learn of the Wall Street chaos after GameStop stock skyrocketed due to Reddit. And we'll talk about the rest here in a second. Wes, what do you think about this movie, Dumb Money? Do you think that do you feel Oscar potential? Do you feel like, hey, this could be one of the best movies of the year? Like, just based on its premise, what do you think? You hear the cast involved, you hear Paul Dano's name, you hear Gillespie. What say you?
I so for me, I'm not feeling the Oscar vibe with a
I'm
Seth
not saying it is.
with
I'm
a s
just I'm just saying.
with
Right,
a
right,
Seth Rogen. Now I love Seth Rogen. Don't get me wrong, but and Nick Offerman is amazing. Like he's come to the casino, super stoked about it. But I do think it's going to be a good movie. With that premise of who you do have in the film at
right.
this moment. You know what I mean? I think I'm like, okay, that sounds, it obviously going to be funny, obviously. I mean, you've got Nick Offerman, you got Seth Rogen, um,
But Paul Dano,
and
though, is
Paul
is it an
Dano.
argument that like it's not even a contest? Paul
Mhm.
Dano, out of these actors, I mean, it's all subjective, but is by far the best actor of the bunch.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
Seth
by
Rogen.
far.
I just Paul Dano, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it sounds like where this is a comedy, I'm actually excited. What I want to hear what you're saying about this. What do you think Paul Dano taking more of a comedic role? Because usually we think of, um, um, oh, why am I trying to think of the movie? There Will Be Blood. Um, the Batman. These more
right.
dramatic roles. Well, yeah, I mean, he's had a couple here and there, a little more lighthearted, but not really comedy. Maybe I'm missing one if y'all maybe can think of one that I'm not aware of. Maybe he's been in 3 comedies or 5. I have no idea, but, this is a first for me, just kind of off the cuff. Now, after the video, I might be like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot he done this," but to my knowledge, I don't remember seeing him in a role which I thought, "This is a comedic role for Paul Dano." What do you think of this? Is this something that he can kinda change up or
Well, I think that we're definitely gonna see what his range is. You know what
True,
I mean?
true.
I think that it's a good step for him to get out of that dramatic role. Because I mean, a lot of actors are like, man, like, a lot of actors, and you know it, and I know it, get typecast a lot. They're the same person
Every
in every
time.
movie, and it works for some, but
At least
there's
for a
some
while.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, right.
So, but then at that same point, you hear it over and over again. They're like, man, like, I just wanted to play something different that I didn't think that I could do, but I wanted to branch out and
Right.
see what I could, you know, what I could push myself to do. You know what I mean? And I think that maybe this might be something that he's like, okay, like, yeah, I've played these lighthearted roles and stuff like that. Let's see what I can do comedy wise. See if I've got that, you know, whenever it comes to comedy, you're always trying to hit the perfect punchline and have the perfect cadence to where like you're
Right.
hitting those, the joke at the right moment. You're giving them the punchline at the right moment to where the audience is going to laugh. It's the right time. It doesn't feel awkward, because a lot of times, I've seen comedians and I've watched so much comedy and listened to so many podcasts and stuff like that that, I know that, these people they work over and over and over again. They'll go do local shows in these, you know, local comedy places in order to try out new things that they're trying to do so that they're like, okay, well, they'll do the punchline one way one night, one way another night, and see which one actually hits. And the great thing about film is that you can take it and be like, all right, cut. All right, this time we need you to do this, this, and this. And they can do it over and over and over again until they do it right. Um, but whenever it comes to Paul Dano, who's done these serious roles and
Yeah.
everything like that, you're like, okay, are they gonna take the time to do all that, or are they gonna be like, yo, you should be getting it by now? you know? And they're just like, well, we're just gonna let this film be what it is. But
Right.
yes, I'm super excited to see what he can do and like how his chemistry is with a Seth Rogen, with a Nick Offerman, with these other really good actors, comedic actors at that. I mean, the first thing you think about whenever you think about Nick Offerman is what? Don't
Well,
say
most
The Last of
recently, I
Us.
was about to say
Don't
most
say The Last of
recently,
Us.
but
But
I
his
think
like if
Parks and
you
Rec,
say
to be
Nick,
honest with you.
yes, correct,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what
Parks and
most
Rec.
people. That's what I think.
Right.
It's Ron Swanson. I'm like,
Ron
oh
Swanson, yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah,
And
okay,
he's so naturally funny though. Like Parks and Rec, not
yes,
for me. But he was one of the highlights to me. And this is coming from a not really big fan of the show, but anytime Nick Offerman was on screen, it just felt natural. It felt funny. And Seth
yeah,
Rogen, we all, you and I are huge fans of Seth Rogen.
hmm
He just what he's been doing, not just acting but producing. Doing, I think he produced Invincible, the animated series, based
he
on the
did,
Image. Did he? He
he
definitely
did,
did The Boys.
yep,
One of the main producers behind that. So Seth Rogen, excuse me, I don't think I mean, he keeps, his producing credit going the way it's going. I I'll call it, as great as I love him as an actor, I think he may be kind of a Ben Affleck and be a better director than
yeah,
actor, and I think he's a great
yeah,
actor, but I think Seth Rogen might be in the same boat as eventually, not saying right now, but eventually, I think Seth Rogen would be more, how much does he have his hands on projects? I would say with his name now, probably quite a bit, but you never know with producers. It's such a nebulous
right,
term, but it's exciting to me.
yeah,
I think this sounds great. I'm always due for more comedies. I love comedies when they work. I feel like the past, I don't know, maybe since Bridesmaids, I haven't loved a comedy like I wanted to. Maybe I'm forgetting one off the top of my head, but to my knowledge, the most
right.
recent one I can think of is Bridesmaids.
Step Brothers, come on, man,
Well, I think Bridesmaids came after that.
did it?
I
It
think
may
so.
have,
Step
it
Brothers
may
was
have
like 2007.
eight,
Was it
eight,
2008? Yeah, Bridesmaids was
I just got done watching Step Brothers the other day. It's
It-
hilarious.
it's
It's
fresh on the
fucking
brain.
great. It's great. It's so
I won't
great.
call him dad, even if there's a fire.
So much room for activities. So it's
No
so
power
quotable.
tools.
And that's another thing that we
But
haven't
yeah,
had in a long time. And I'll say that, like, we've not had a comedy really in a while. I don't think that, like back in from like 99 to like 2010, there were all these great comedies that had like multiple quotable lines in the movie. Do you know what
right.
I'm saying? Where you could like quote what they were saying, the Catalina wine mixer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing I don't remember any of that the past few years. Do you? I mean,
Not that I like I said, not since gosh, I'd say not since yeah, Bridesmaids. I
yeah.
legitimately do because I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where comedy is such movies alone is subjective. Comedies, you're going in a whole different realm. It
Well, and
doesn't matter how good it is. If you can't make your audience laugh and you're a comedy, you've screwed up.
everybody here
I mean,
lately has also been like everything's got to be so PC. I went back and watched, Step Brothers, like I said, and dude, it's like, oh my God, they couldn't say that now. Well, they couldn't say that now. They couldn't say that now. They're gonna offend somebody, and it's like comedy's meant to be something where you can. It's supposed to be funny. Like it's not. It's not. And people take stuff so literally now that you can't bend those lines anymore and be provocative or be something out there. I mean, they can never make a Tropic Thunder, period.
not
Now.
nowadays.
You
No,
know what I'm saying? You get what I'm
no. And I love
and
Tropic
how
Thunder.
funny, was it? You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying? And
yeah.
nobody thought twice about half the stuff that's in that movie. And you go back and you look at it now and you're like, "Ooh,
You're
good.
like, oh wait.
That wouldn't go over well." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
that cringy, ballsy humor that I think at the end of the day, most people enjoy probably more than you think, because I think people love that catch me off guard humor. Not saying that this movie do it, and we'll move on here in just a second. We were kind of babbling a little bit because like I said, the presentation was going on as we spoke. Now, the site that I was reading on Deadline, which I showed y'all, one of the major trades. I don't know if it's the website not updating or what, but other sites have far surpassed where we were at. So I think it's just an issue with the website. I don't know. So I found um, our other friends here at Comic Book, and it kind of picks up where we just left off here, and that is this. So it'd be CinemaCon 2023, Sony preview, Spider-Man, Craven, and more. So that's kind of about what we talked about with Bad Boys 4, and the top there with thanking everybody for coming out and all that good stuff. So, and
did
we'll
you
pick
see what
up
it
right here.
said? Look at this. Look. No, right above that. Where it says basically it's all
Oh, it's talking
set to
about the
tune
footage.
of Cardi B's WAP. Oh my God, yes.
See, that's what we were just talking
Yes.
about. And
Yeah.
Deadline didn't say that. So, okay, let's read this a little bit. Uh, Talking about the comedy. I already forgot the name of it. Dumb Money. The footage sees Seth Rogen's character debating with the real estate agent from the unfinished house. Meanwhile, in Connecticut, Steve Cohen is panicking over the stock changes. A montage of people seeing the GameStop stock soaring plays before Ken Griffin, played by Nick Offerman, calls Rogen's character. The financial bigwigs bigwigs discover Dano's Keith character as being responsible for the GameStop spike. It's all set to the tune of Cardi B's WAP. Look,
Bro.
I,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna see this in
I'm
theater.
in. I'm
There
in.
there are a lot of comedies where I'm like, I wish I'd seen that in theater, but yeah, this is one that's creeping up my list. So it looks like they showed everybody a few minutes of footage. We'll hear in the coming days if people actually liked it. Now we could read something and be like, oh my god, it sounded awesome, but we might watch it and be like, bro, really? So
Yeah.
let's give it a couple days and let's see how that goes. So next up, they're talking about a snippet of footage from Insidious: The Red Door, the next of the horror bunch. I'm not a big fan of Insidious, to be honest with you.
Oh,
Uh,
oh.
play.
You're not a horror fan though.
I'm not a horror fan.
Not really. Not
Play.
really. Not really.
Insidious: The Red Door film plays, which brings the original cast back. Hey, I like Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson's in that one, right? Is that the
Yes.
okay?
Yes. Yep. Hmm.
It's my Aquaman villain. What's his name?
Hmm. I
I
can't
forgot his name
remember.
already. I loved Aquaman. The footage sees the family struggling to reconnect after kids went to college. They remember falling into a coma, and they're trying to forget their troubles. Haunted dreams are plaguing the family. There is Patrick Wilson's character declares those are not dreams. The tortured souls of the dead have conquered their world, and the family's going back where it all began, according to the text on screen. Not really much more of that. Wes, you're obviously the horror film fan here, so I'm gonna swing that to you. Just your quick thoughts. What do you
Yeah.
think of what do you think
No,
of
no
the
worries,
Insidious the
man.
Red Door?
So I love the Insidious series. I really do. I think they do a great job. I loved all the films that they've made so far. So they keep with that same stuff because it's been a good story every time that they've done um a film. So if they can continue to do that, I think the jump scares, you know, it's more, and it's not really jump scares. It's more like you're just sitting there and intensely waiting for it to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and then immediately whenever you stop thinking about it, boom, there it is. You know what I'm saying? It just it happens again. So those are the type of films that like I grew up like loving horror movies. Like that's I love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like from The Exorcist, which is my number one overall, to you know going these comedy horror things. Like I love it. Like Renfield. Like oh man, I
I
liked it.
didn't get to catch that one. Is
A
that one
lot of
good?
people.
Was that one
I
fun?
liked it. A lot of people hated it. I loved it. I
I
thought it
just
was
want to watch it
hilarious.
for Nick
Nick
Cage
Cage is
playing
Nick Cage,
Dracula.
bro.
Like
Yeah,
I
Nick Cage
would.
is Nick Cage
That's
in
all I
that.
need to know. I'm in.
It's hilarious.
I,
I thought it was great. So
Well, like we've said multiple times, we've had issues with our local theater, and I'm not driving an hour or 2 hour round trip to do that. So anyhow,
wait till it
that's
comes out. You can wait till it
just
comes
wait.
out.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
It's no Avengers Endgame. I'm
yeah, no,
sure.
no,
It's just a
no, no, not at
army
all.
of Draculas of different movies, just all in one. Um, so yeah, so we'll go through here and catch up on the rest here. So Crunchyroll gets some love from Greenstein. I don't care much for Crunchyroll, but indulge us for a second. Uh The Machine is the next film, the true story of Bert Kreischer. Uh
Yes, Bert
Getting
Kreischer.
tied Kreischer, okay, getting tied up with the Russian mafia as a college student. That's not stereotypical at all. The short look at the film plays like a parody of John Wick. Hey, anything that sounds like John Wick, you got my attention.
So so I'm gonna say a little thing here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
You got some
listened
deets?
to yes. So I listened to um like Two Bears One Cave, which Bert Kreischer. So that's how he
Oh, the
went by.
comedian.
Yes. So that's how he
Oh,
went
that totally flew
viral.
over my mind. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is his story that he tells. So like I went to go see him in concert. He's so funny. Dude is hilarious.
Okay.
I actually met the
I think
guy.
he's
Like
funny. Yeah.
he's hilarious, dude.
Mhm.
So he's the guy with this without his shirt. Like that's
All
what
the
he does.
time, yeah.
That's
My
his
wife's
shtick.
like, "That's you." Like,
Yeah. So great comedian, hilarious. Now, his dad in this is the original Luke Skywalker.
"Oh,
Um
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill.
Really?"
Yes, plays his dad in this. So
So he
I'm
plays the dad
super
in the movie. Okay.
yes, I'm kind of excited about this film. Just
Okay.
because I've got a little, like man crush, I guess, on Burt Crush. I think this is how he went viral was from this story. And what they've done is they've added on a few things for it. So like I said, it's all on Two Bears One Cave, the thing.
Interesting.
Shout out. But
Okay, I'm but it says Crunchyroll. It isn't Crunchyroll anime? Is that what this is, or is it live
no,
action?
no, it's live action.
Is it?
You can watch the Red Band trailer. I'll send
Crunchyroll.
it to you after this. So
What am I thinking of that's anime that Sony owns?
I don't know. But
Whichever one.
I'm super excited about this
Okay,
because
well
this is
now I'll tell you what, I was excited more than I was 30 seconds ago.
yeah, I'm
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah. So
so
this is about his
okay,
this is based on his story about him like and it's a true
because
story.
it's a true story. Yeah, right here.
It's
Yeah,
a true story that he
true. s-
tells and
He
it's
got tied
about
with the Russian mafia.
he got tied with the Russian. I'll show you that one. Oh my god, if you've never seen it,
You
you
have
have
to
to see
show
it.
me when we're
So
done. That's
okay, yes.
hilarious. I'm
So
in.
he gets tied up with the Russian mafia and he basically goes and I'm not going to tell you everything because it'll just spoil it because he tells it so well. But basically, he robs a train with the Russian mafia. It is hilarious. It's great the
Do
way he tells
does
it.
he use these stories in his comedy bits?
Yes,
Oh,
this is
that's
how he went
awesome.
viral. That's what I'm gonna show
That
you.
is awesome.
It's so good. Yes, so I'm gonna
Okay,
show you
okay.
after this.
Yeah, get with
Super
me about
excited.
that.
Yes.
If y'all are fans of Bert Kreischer, if I'm saying that right, sound
Yeah,
off
you are.
in the
You are.
comments and
Bert
let us know
Kreischer.
because
The
Wes is
Machine, that's
obviously
what
a
he's
huge
called.
the machine.
He's
Oh, okay. Because
that's what
Wes
he's
is
called is the
obviously a
Machine.
huge fan, and like I said, I've liked him, but um, okay. So Sony gets into Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. All right, we'll talk about that here in just a second. Christine Benson, the president of Sony Pictures Animation, takes the stage. Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse is referred to as a groundbreaking moment in our history, in our industry. I love how she put that. She declares it changed what people expect from animation. She welcomes one of the directors on stage, Kemp Powers. When I first saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, I was actually still working on a movie called Pixar called Soul, which I liked, by the way. I
I
just
liked it
hated
too.
that it was straight to Disney Plus. He said,
Yeah.
noting that he is the only director here because the film is still being finished. I was completely blown away by what I saw. He promises the film will still relate to the emotional journey of Miles and his family, which it was the heart of the entire first film. He introduces Shamik Moore, Issa Rae, and Haley Steinfeld, who is amazing on the stage. And we'll read over this and we'll talk about it. It's been over a year after the events of the first movie. In the first movie, he learned anyone can wear the mask, and in this film, he discovers that it's how you wear the mask that makes you a hero. I love that. The
Yep.
only person who really understands what's going on through is Gwen Stacy. Gwen is such an important part of Miles' journey, but she states she has her own journey as well, as Tom Field said. I also play Spider Woman, Jessica Drew. She's super cool. Ray added, she's a Spider Woman of another dimension. I really like her attitude. She is no nonsense. Unlike these jokers over here, she's not living a double life. So this goes on. I don't, Wes. I'm not gonna go in and talk about all this. But
Yeah, because
from
it's a
one end,
lot.
it is a lot. They showed about 14 minutes of footage, and if y'all want to read this, it's from comic book movies, or comicbook.com, talking about CinemaCon, so y'all can go through that. And I mean, I think it's pretty fun. And before we get to Craven, looks like that's what they talk about next. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Spider Verse. All right, so
Loved.
I've said multiple times doing our show, and even when I'm doing my when I was doing my TikToks and stuff like that, I crapped on the first Spider Man film, Into the Spider Verse. The animation style, I'm like, eh. Miles, eh. I don't like derivative characters. To
It's
me,
because
Peter.
you're
My God, no.
cut that out. Cut it
I
out.
I even reading the comics when he first came out, I'm like, "What is this? He's got electric powers? Like, and he's Spider-Man?
It's
No,
because he's strong.
no, Wes, no." I did not like the Miles character in the comics. Now, when they finally come out of this movie, my siblings seen it and was like, "Gabe, you might actually watch like this movie." I'm like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "Gabe, like, no, for real." I'm like, "Fine," because they never tell me, "Hey, this is good. You need to watch it." They never
Which
tell me that.
one was it? Was it your brother or your
It was
sister?
both of them.
Oh, okay.
They were both like, "You need to go," and I'm like, "Fine, I'll go watch a stupid movie." And I come out of the theater, and thank God I seen it in theater because I was blown away. Dare I say, I even choked up a couple times in that movie. I absolutely loved it. Wes, what do you think about the first film, and how much are you excited for Across the Spider Verse?
Bro, I already told you. I loved it. Like
Yeah,
from the first time I seen it, the animation, like all that. Number one, I brought Declan to the movies to see it.
I bet I
Loved it.
loved it. Yep,
Oh, dude, it's so good. And it's like it's got something for everybody. You know what I
it
mean?
really
Like it's
does.
so good. It's
Yeah,
just the story was good. Like all that good stuff.
the
See,
way it
if they could take
flowed.
dude, yes.
Yeah,
And if they could take that and put it in live action, I think it'd be really good. But now I'm like, no, leave him where he is. Leave it where it is.
I
You know
have
what I'm
two
saying?
reasons for that. Number one, what you just said. Reason number one, because it's working.
Mhm.
Why would you mess that up?
Yeah,
Why would you
leave it.
risk just keep doing what you're doing, right? Especially if this film makes upwards to, I'm not going to say it has to make $1 billion to make a profit, but let's say if it does, let's say if it hits $1 billion, why stop there? Make another one. Well, they
Yeah,
are making another one, but you see what I'm saying? Like, don't just be like,
yeah.
oh, okay, we're done. Reason number two, they Sony they won't confuse people like you and me, or like the 3% of the
Mhm.
actual movie-going audience in nerds and in film circles like you and myself, but they would confuse so much of the general audience, they're gonna have no idea. Because think about it, how do you market that if they brought Miles live action?
Right.
The only real way to do it, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying they're gonna do this, I'm not saying they're gonna do it anytime soon, but the only way that I see them segueing to a live action Spider-Man Miles Morales is that he is a side character or just happens to pop up in another, maybe Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland Spider-Man
Mhm.
4, which they may have announced, we just don't know yet, or something like that. So that's gonna be really interesting to see, how that plays out. But while they have a live action Peter Parker, I don't see them having a live action Miles Morales, but that's just me.
No, but I don't think they should. Like I said, I think that they got a good formula going.
It's
Just
working.
just it's working. Just keep it
The
that way.
animation's unique and the
Because
story is great.
I think the only way that they could have brought him in and it been really like, "Okay, this is a good point where we could have brought it in," was, the Multiverse of Madness, where they're going through the
And a
different.
movie like that could
Do you
work.
get what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
Because it could have worked right there where they were going through the cartoons place, and he's like, "Hey, what are y'all," and then that's it, and then boom, he's out of the movie, like, but that could have worked. Do you get what I'm
Hey,
saying? So
there's
you
a
get it.
rumor that when they were filming No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, there was a theory going around, and if you dig a little bit, maybe it is still around. There was a theory that, hey, Tom Holland's recording or shooting with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Hey, why don't y'all come over and shoot a little
Mhm.
something for Cross the Spider Verse, because it is going to be. And did you remember in the trailer, Oscar Isaac's Spider Man 2099? He mentioned Doctor Strange. Remember, because he's like, and don't make me bring up Doctor Strange and the kid or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
on Earth 19, no, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so they already made it mentionable. Like, would it be out of the realm a possibility? I'm not saying they have to be live action, just their voices, just the design of the suits.
Mhm.
They don't even have to be on set. Record a couple lines, I make it sound incredibly easy. Record a couple lines, do the animation style in their specific uniforms or
Mhm.
suits and pop them in there. Just a fun little, oh, there's
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
With
You know
what
what I mean?
but they have to do it if they do it, they have to do the, like, where they're the pointing things, where they're pointing at
The
each
way
other.
that I know, but the way they did it in No Way Home, like, felt natural
Yeah.
because they were just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like that was fine, but to have it forced, we'll see. But
It'd still be funny.
it would be funny. Look, with or without, the 2 great Spider-Man, who I think is the best, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, them 2, Tom Holland, I with them in it or not, I don't think that, look, let's be honest, that's not gonna make the movie good or bad. Let's be honest. If they're in it, the movie would have been good or bad without them, because it's
Yeah.
not gonna be a long thing. They're not gonna be a central part of the film. They're gonna be in there just a little bit. If they are, who knows? We could read through this and
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, they pop up." But yeah, so Spider-Man 2, you and I are so excited, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go on to some Craven news sticking into the Spider-Man. This, however, is live action. So next up is Craven the Hunter. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I love, sends a video message. Even from afar, I still get the privilege of introducing the first ever footage of Craven the Hunter shown anywhere, Johnson said. A Marvel movie grounded heavily in the real world. Okay. He is a fierce hunter. He confirms it is R rated before the first footage plays. He confirms that the film will be rated uh, R before footage furthers the point. In the footage, brutal Craven slaughters men in a truck, including biting chunks of the faces off and toss them in his mouth towards the camera. He pulls his classic lion costume out, showing its mane. Oh my god! He fights many man, slaughtering them in a bloody series of events. In the woods, men look over at Craven and set traps, where Craven uses the locale to his advantage and wrecks them. In the film, Craven seems to be setting out to be nothing like his father, uses spears to kill man, slaughters another in the office with a crossbow, and moves like an animal through the hallway, sometimes on all fours. It's a bloody ramp loaded with a couple of F bombs. The Rhino is the villain of the film. Interesting. With a tease showing a man's arm transforming into the character. The character will be released, or sorry, the trailer will be released this summer. And this popped up, Wes. Now, I did look at this right before we started shooting. This is what I didn't tell you about. Craven the Hunter confirms, fuck yes, it's going to be rated R. Look,
I'm so stoked. I'm
I'm
so stoked.
so excited. And it's funny because shortly, I don't know if it was shortly before or after this, the Sony CEO said, "We're not fucking around." Like he literally said that. So that is really interesting.
So great because they need
Uh,
another like and they need more rated R movies. Sorry, they do. Like
well,
dude, no, stop. Deadpool is amazing. Okay, that
I mean,
stop.
yeah,
No, let me finish. Deadpool is amazing. Number
I'd say
one,
it wasn't.
because because number one, I like as an adult, I want an adult like superhero, like villain, anti-villain, whatever, anti-hero. Like that's what I want. I'm like, yes, just give it to me because I can be like, it's something for the adults, man. I know that we're gearing stuff towards the younger stuff too, but like gear that stuff to them. That's fine. Like, let's make the end games. Let's make the stuff like that that we can, that I can sit there and watch with my son and be like, oh, this is this, this is this, and he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and then I can be like, okay, go away so I can watch Deadpool and watch him. You know, like this is
Just
awesome. I'm
mauling.
so excited, dude.
And
Like,
and you know, and I am too. Like, does it have to be rated R? No. You and I are just we disagree on that. It does not have to be rated R. Showing titties and
I don't
F
care about that.
bombs
I just
and
want to see
I
somebody rip
know,
somebody
but
in half in the action where they can show blood and they can show all these great special effects and you
yeah,
know
but
I don't care about the cussing. Like this isn't.
but you also can't argue that showing that content, the goriness doesn't make a film good or bad. It just depends how the filmmaker uses it to tell the story. That's all. I mean, you can tell that story and PG-13 can get away with a lot. Could they do a hard edged Craven? Yeah.
Mm,
I
no,
mean,
they
no.
can't. What you can't
Now I
see
will
somebody like ripping
while
somebody apart and
right.
doing all that and actually see it. Like
Well,
that's what I want to see is the
while I
blood and
disagree
the
with
guts.
you, while
But
I disagree with you,
I'm a
however,
horror film fan. Like
and
that's
that's
my
great.
shit.
And that's great.
That's my stuff. Sorry.
While I disagree with you, I will say that Deadpool 1 and 2, them being rated R, I don't think at this point you can go PG-13 with
Nope.
Deadpool. You've done set the tone. You would have to reboot Deadpool, separate itself within a couple years, and then do maybe PG-13, but they've already done it rated R. Now, if the first Deadpool movie was PG-13, I think they could have made it work. Would it not have
Hmm.
been really true to the character? No, but it could have worked. I mean, let's be honest, it could work. Um, but now that they've done now that they've done it rated R, they can't go back. So who knows? Maybe this movie comes out and it's awesome, and we can come out going the rated R content told the story better than it would have been PG-13. You never know. We'll just have to wait
But
and
if
see.
you go look at the comics though, like they're
Well,
not.
it's an adaptation though.
I'm just saying, like he needs to be able to be in his full self. I'm excited. I was
I
not
am
excited
too.
before because I thought that they were gonna just tone it down for like the whole Marvel blah 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 blah, and it's like don't do it, and they didn't, and I'm super excited.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I am, and look, I can't wait
So thank you for
for
not letting me
Craven.
read that because I'd have been sitting here like, can we talk about it? Can we
Well,
talk
I
about?
think we talked about it months ago. Sorry, I think we talked about it months ago about Craven.
We did, but we
Yeah,
thought it was going to be PJ through. Like
everybody
we
just
thought it would be
assumes
toned
comic
down.
book. Yeah, comic book movies be PG-13, but it looks like now, look, Sony's they can do that. They can delve into the rated R, and that's just a side rant here. This is what bothers me about Disney and Marvel Studios. Okay, now now I'm about to say something, and it might piss people off. Whatever.
Well,
Here we go. Controversy. Marvel Studios, who I love. Look, I got the Marvel tattoos. I got Marvel crap. I got a Marvel mug. I only snap before coffee. It's got the
I
Thanos
mean, come
gauntlet.
on, dude. Like,
It
yeah,
yeah,
we
he's got
both
the
got.
Hulk. We love
There we go.
Marvel. Okay?
There it
We
is.
love Marvel around here. But my one of my biggest issues is they won't tell standalone stories. It doesn't sound like Craven's tied in with Morbius, nor I don't think should. Um, it they're taking these movies and telling these standalone stories. Warner Brothers did it with DC's Joker. Made a
Hmm.
billion, was the first R-rated movie to make $1 billion and win Joaquin Phoenix the Academy Award for Best Actor, and get the film nominated for Best Picture, and get Todd Phillips the director's nomination, I believe, and I think it was nominated Best Adapted Screenplay. Either way, Oscar nominated film. Why in the world would Marvel not do this? Sony is now taking these steps. Why the crap is Marvel not do that? Anyway, maybe we'll get some breakthrough in Disney. You know, Deadpool's been shooting for a while, so maybe it wouldn't hurt to see, you know, Ryan Reynolds send in a video, him and Hugh Jackman. Maybe they're in like full makeup and gear and stuff. That'd be kind of funny. But
I don't think they want to reveal what he looks like though. You, I think they're
think it'd
kind
be
of
so
holding out.
cool. It'd be so cool. I think it'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really loving this, to be honest with you, that they're taking that step in the direction they're going with Sony and its Marvel IP and Spider-Man characters. Being like, look, what I want Spider-Man in this, absolutely. These are Spider-Man characters. I love Spider-Man. Sue me. I love Spider-Man. Um, these are his characters. Now, everyone pitched a fit when the first Venom movie came out. Oh, you can't do Venom if Spider-Man's not in it. Well, the film almost made $1 billion. Yeah, they did. Very successful. The second one, not. I don't think it made as much money. Maybe it made just a little more, just a little less. But either way, it was still profitable. And that was without Spider Man, even though he did pop in the post credit scene on a TV. But whether that post credit scene was in the movie or not, it would have made that much money. A little more, a little less. But yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing that's kind of bothered me. Is like, okay, you've told Morbius, you've told Venom, you've told all this and that and the other. Where's Spider Man? These are Spider-Man characters. These are Marvel characters. Coming off of what I just said about doing standalone stuff, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying Spider-Man has to be in every single one of them. But what I'm getting at is, where's Spider-Man? I don't know. It's just, it's kind of like, really? So I don't know. So the next bit of news is David Harbour and Orlando Bloom come to stage to discuss Gran Turismo. Harbour wondered how people were going to make a movie out of a racing game. He admits. Harbour explains the story turned out to be based on a real true story, despite the game not having any story in it other than racing. Very true. Bloom explains how Gran Turismo is so realistic that drivers and teams used it to train. The movie is based on the true story of how being good at a game can completely change your life. Harbour adds that there's a big difference between playing a video game and driving the real cars. The star of the film does his own driving as well. Harbour wants to see footage, which is about to play, so he heads to audience as it plays. A gamer's family with a father played by Jamon Hansu, who we love around here, is not improving how much he has been playing video games. He is deep in Gran Turismo. He goes from the games to the real thing under the idea of Orlando Bloom's character. Harbour is fully skeptic, saying, "Your kid's a scrawny little gamer. The gamers have to get physically fit. The challenges present themselves, and plenty of racing sequences grace the screen. The stakes are emphasized by an outlining of the risk. The gamer makes the team, and it's time for a real race, with the other drivers not being a fan of the video game player getting a spot at the real thing." Wes, I'm gonna throw it to you, man. What do you think
Don't
about
care.
Gran Turismo?
Don't
Agreed.
care. We can go on to
Next,
the other one.
next. I'm kidding. Look, I love David Harbour. I love Orlando Bloom. Look, is this the most anticipated? No, even reading it, I'm like, eh. But who knows? Who knows?
Don't
I
care.
love the people involved. So even I didn't like the games. Like I didn't care for the games either as a kid.
Me neither. It
I
was too
didn't.
hard for me as a kid because it just can't. I was just too young, and it just
Yeah.
like whenever you crash, you like really crash, and it's like over, and I'm just like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to play this
It's like,
anymore. It's
oh, I
not
don't want to
fun.
start over. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done.
geez. Sydney Sweeney, who also we love around here. Glenn Powell
For
just
more
recently
reasons
in
than one.
was just
Two
recently
reasons.
in
Two big reasons.
Top Gun Maverick. Glenn Powell, who may be Human Torch. I don't know. We'll see. He could be a giant storm. Takes the stage to talk about their upcoming film, Anyone But You. It concludes with a trailer for the R-rated comedy. Hey, look, another comedy. It is followed by Jason Reitman sending a video message along with the New Age Ghostbuster cast. They ultimately introduced Sony chairman Tom Rothman, sorry. The movie looks huge, Rothman said about the new Ghostbusters film. For the past 3 years, we at Sony held fast. the only major studio dedicated entirely to theatrical. That I will give props to Sony for that, by the way. We were sure in conviction that movies in the theaters would not just survive but triumph. Sony won with our share of the sequels and superheroes. Yes, we're very proud of them, but also many original films. We continue to mix our strong IP driven movies. We mix that IP with multiple original films and multiple genres. The more they say the genre is dead, the more we like it. Originality, it's always a risk, but I always think the bigger the risk is boring the audience to death and sameness. He goes on to say that true movie stars matter more than ever. They're just rarer than ever. He's using this opportunity to call back many times working with Denzel Washington, ultimately to introduce Antine Fuqua to the stage. And we'll get into what looks like some, Equalizer 3 news. I was about to say Antoine Fuqua, Denzel. So,
Mhm.
Wes, what do you think about their comments about, first of all, we got a little Ghostbusters news there. And what do you think about their dedication to theatrical and how does that impact, and hopefully motivate other studios, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, whatever, to stick to theatrical? What do you think?
Well, I mean, so I agree with what they're saying. Um, I mean, I don't know, like the whole Ghostbusters thing. I don't really like the new age Ghostbusters. I didn't like it. The originals, what I grew up with, that's what I like. You know what I mean? So, but going and saying that they want to, that people need to keep it theatrical. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent with it. I think that, it can work. It depends on a lot of factors. It's just like we were talking about in the last video. Like there's a lot of factors whenever it comes to making a good movie and to making, it fit and do the right thing. You take some of these movies that are like awful and you recast them with the same story, same dialogue, and a different director, it could be a completely different movie.
It
Do you
can
do you know
different
what I'm
tone,
saying?
different, yeah.
Different tone, different, but I mean that's true for everything, but it's just like you have to get what
It's more of a
works and
risk.
what
Yeah,
meshes and what goes together.
right.
Then you can't just say, oh well, it's got to be everything needs to go back to being theatrical. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to do that. That's what I think. So,
Well, while I see what you're saying, I just it's proved even the streaming shows, for example, have proved not only streaming. I'm using that as an example. Streaming shows like The Last of Us, Game of Thrones, The Boys. How many times have we said it? You release week by week. Stop doing the all
all at
season in one
once.
like that.
Yeah.
That needs to stop.
Yeah.
Well, the same type of mentality applies to movies in the theater versus day and date, which means coming out on the streaming services the day it releases in theaters. Y'all gotta stop that. You shorten the theatrical window to 45 days. It was, I think, 90 before they changed it after COVID. The idiotic decision that Warner Brothers made a couple years ago, which we talked about in our last Hollywood Minutes video, of Warner Brothers dropping one of the first films that they did of that whole year. They were like, this whole year, day and day was the Godzilla versus Kong
Mhm.
um, movie, and how horrible of a error and mistake, and how that man does not have a job. I mean that.
Yeah.
Now is he hurting? No, he tens of millions of dollars probably, but that goes to show you that that is not the answer. Just like streaming shows have to release week by week. Now that has to be good, because if it sucks,
Yeah.
whatever. But and most streaming networks do have their shows like your big shows like Yellowstone, Rings of Power concluded a few months ago. That was week to week. Obi-Wan, the Disney Plus shows, The Boys, Game of Thrones, Last of Us, like Succession. These shows do episode by episode, week to week. That's how it should be done. How many times, I know we weren't recording then due to our hiatus, but The Last of Us, every week the viewership just went up and up and up and up. The same thing applies to movies. If you release in theaters, and I love the comment he made. Go back and look at that comment right here. He said, duh, 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 talking about the only studio dedicated entirely to theatrical, and how true that is. And that's actually sad because you would think out of all the major studios, they wouldn't do this. Disney does not need to do that to Pixar. Warner Brothers does not need to do it for the movies that it has done it with over the past couple years. They need to trust their content, trust their IP, and trust the audience wants to see it. Because if they don't have the backbone to say and to promote and say why I should pay to watch the movie, if they don't have enough confidence in it, why should I?
But that's the whole thing. That's like back in the day whenever, the studio would say, "Okay, this is definitely not going in theaters, straight to DVD." That's what we called it. There
It
was no
was.
streaming back then. It's a straight to DVD movie. So now they're saying these films, like a Godzilla versus Kong, is a straight to DVD movie, and it's not
They were
true.
also more
Do you
careful
get what
back
I'm
then, though.
saying?
Right, but they were also more careful back then, I think, because
Yeah,
they knew,
yeah,
okay, this is IP and this is another Jason Segal uh war movie
right.
that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just did the DVD.
But it's like straight to DVD
Yeah.
stuff is what is basically the equivalent of what they're doing now for these movies that shouldn't be in like on these streaming channels on the same day. I agree with you on that.
While
You
I
know what I'm
don't
saying?
agree with the shortening the theatrical window to 45 days, I can live with that. But for a studio to put, imagine, dude, if they put Avatar: The Way of Water on Disney Plus, let's say 2 weeks after it came out in theaters, it wouldn't have made $2 billion.
Nope. Nope, because I would have watched it
Right. If they wouldn't have
anyway.
released No Way Home, Sony production through, well, distribution through Spider-Man No Way Home into theatrical only for how many months you couldn't get it for digital? Forever.
Yeah,
$1.9 billion.
yeah,
Almost passing the a Spider-Man movie, dude.
yeah,
Spider-Man. Almost a $2 billion movie. Imagine if they dropped that, oh, straight to digital in 2 weeks. It
yeah.
wouldn't have made nowhere near that. So it proves that the theatrical window needs to be respected and it needs to maintain that. And I will always have props to Sony for doing that. But that's just me. So as we close up here, there's just a couple things that they're talking about just right quick. We got Denzel Washington's Equalizer 3 announcement here. Fuqua presents CinemaCon's Lifetime Achievement Award to Denzel Washington. Bravo. Teeing up the role for the actor. I've been blessed beyond measure, and this is just another example of it. Washington declares. He goes on to bring Dakota Fanning, I love, who co-star with in Men of Fire, and will reunite for Equalizer 3 to the stage. Fanning shared her excitement for the upcoming film and can't find the words to describe an opportunity to work with Washington not once, but twice. The first trailer for Equalizer 3 plays the film due in theaters in September. The first one was on the other day. I love those movies. The footage is loaded with the expected Equalizer action, including Washington's hero predicting the number of seconds it will take to beat the men around him. So just one second. I love was it the first movie where it takes that hammer, it just like wipes
Yeah.
it and puts it back. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, Rothman concludes the presentation with a film from Sony and Apple Original Films. He's promising full throttle marketing campaign and robust theatrical run. I love this for the movie before it goes to Apple TV Plus. It's a Ridley Scott film debuting in November. So here I am just complaining about all this, but Apple's going all in. They're putting $1 billion just in movies alone. So take that as you will. It's a Ridley Scott film debuting in November. Rothman says Scott can do things cinematically that few, that is absolutely true, that others can do. Rothman teased up the footage. The Russian and Austrian armies have joined forces against Napoleon. Napoleon has hidden his cannons and invited the attack because, to a military genius, he was there in fields, and there are fields. It's the first look at Napoleon on the screen. The footage is grand in scale. Blah 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 blah. It's a Ridley Scott war film. Like it's gonna be fantastic. I'm a contender of, uh, I love The Martian, but probably my favorite, and no one will say this, but my favorite film of Ridley Scott's, by the way, probably Black Hawk Down. I love Black Hawk Down so much. Wes, as we conclude the video, what is your thoughts on Equalizer 3? and this new Napoleon movie from Ridley Scott and Sony's presentation as a whole. I know we weren't there, but reading off what was announced, do you think that that was kind of worth it? Kind of whet the appetite for what's to come the rest of 2023? What do you think?
Equalizer 3. First question. Indifferent. It is what it is. Kind of like the first two movies. Is what it is. Second
It's not
question.
John Wick.
Not John Wick.
It's not John Wick.
Second question. Don't care.
What?
I didn't watch. No, don't care.
Really?
Don't
Not
care.
Black
Old
Hawk
stuff.
Down?
Oh, dude. No, not the. I just don't like. It's just my preference. I don't like old style, like I, like
Oh,
old
you
war
love it though.
movies.
You love it.
Old war movies.
But
No,
it's not old.
get the
It's
fuck.
the
Listen
mission
to me.
took place in
Listen to me.
1991.
Okay, great. Not Napoleon did it. No,
Oh,
it's gonna
that's
be
true.
fucking like yeah. No, I'm good. I
That's
don't.
true.
I don't care. Just because of yeah. I don't care. Um, third question. Super excited. To be honest with you, I can't wait to see like what comes and what's gonna come out and like the whole Disney thing and like everything like that. But like from what I've read today, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up for me. I think
Yeah.
that there's some exciting things that are going on with Sony and these new films from like Marvel, the Spider-Man, the like all these things that we've read
Dumb
about
money.
today.
Yeah.
Dumb Money, the Machine movie, which I'm going to show you that right after we're done. It's I'm excited about it. Like I said, I think that it's starting off on a good foot. I'll
I
say
do
that.
too. I think we're gonna have a really good week. I like what you said though. Like it I think what you were trying to say is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it wasn't great, but there was some good things in there. Like it
Yeah,
was worth the time
yeah,
to go down and break through. Is that
yeah.
kind of what
Like I
yeah.
said, they started off on a good foot. They just let's amp it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I
Give me
mean,
some more.
no announcement for Spider-Man 4, which I'm gonna be honest with you, that's probably the most surprising. Just
Yeah,
considering, I'm not saying it has to be. I seen people on Twitter today. People were putting, "Oh, they better announce Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4." I'm like, dude, get the fuck out.
yeah.
They were saying
Right.
Andrew Garfield
Exactly.
Spider-Man 3. I'm like, do y'all not understand? I know Andrew Garfield lied to us for like a year and a half straight, right? But they're done. And
Yeah.
what better way to go? Like, you got what you wanted, right?
Hmm.
You got what you wanted seeing all 3 Spider-Men together. Let that be enough. It was so good, and it just why? Why?
Yeah.
However, they announced Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. I'll be like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
But no, but to be honest with you, like, really think about it, just right quick. Spider-Man: No Way Home just recently came out a year and a half ago, creeping up. Oh my god, $1.9 billion. Why in the world would you not announce? You just announce it. We don't need footage. Well, I mean, well, we know they haven't been shooting. You don't think any major trades will pick up on that?
Yeah.
So they haven't been shooting. They're dumb if they don't. I'll say
Yeah.
it. As much as I've been praising Sony here the last hour or whatever, Sony's awesome, but
Yeah.
what is going on now? Could mean a couple things. Is Tom Holland done? Because no doubt that took a lot out of him. He filmed how many movies back to back to back to back, like literally Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, into Avengers Infinity War in 2018, into Endgame 2019, into Spider-Man No Way Home for it was already shot, but it came out in 2021. Like seriously? It
Yeah.
no he could be burned out. Great. Okay. Well, recast. Move forward. Hey, new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
It's not like Disney can use them because they
Yeah.
can't.
Exactly.
You've ended No Way Home in the perfect way to both carry on the Tom Holland Spider-Man franchise or reboot.
Yeah.
It's you can literally do that now. We are now
Yeah.
almost 2 years away from that movie. By the time one is to come out, we're already here in 2024, or sorry, 2025, early 2026 maybe.
26.
Does that not surprise you? Like, No Spider-Man 4?
It is what it is,
What?
man. It's over.
We might
Just
have
let it
to.
go.
No, I will not. I will not let it go. I love No Way Home that much. I love it. Guys, before we clock off here, Wes, where can people find you and all that good stuff? You know what's up.
Yeah. At your local Walmart. I'll be there. No, all right, yeah. So you can find me at West Rathbone 86 on Twitter. Let us know what you think, man. What you think about this first day and everything that they're saying. So we'll be doing this throughout the week, depending on schedules and all that good stuff. So guys, so glad to be back. Gabe, tell them where they can find you.
All right, my friend. You can find me at Wes's bedroom here in about 10 minutes.
Hey,
And
all right.
you can simply find me at Voice of Film right here on Twitter, TikTok, all that kind of good stuff. Going to be launching some daily TikTok content over there. Be a little more short formed. Go check us out there. Yeah, it's been fun. Like Wes said, it's great to be back. Can't wait to cover the rest of CinemaCon. The normal schedule after this week will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Uh, just in case there's nothing super crazy that pops off between those times, it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But for this week, we'll be doing every day to cover CinemaCon. We were little not prepared. We were trying to go live, wasn't able to. The site wasn't working. Sony was late, so there was a lot of stuff that didn't really work out for us. But tomorrow, by the time we record, it'll be plenty of time. We're going to be joined live by the time you see this video. The next video will be live, so come check us out there. We'll be streaming to Twitch and YouTube. Wes, you're just now hearing this for the first time, so by the way, we'll be doing Twitch and YouTube. So come check us out there. If you liked this video, let us know your comments. Drop the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever else the crap you hit on YouTube, just not your mom. We don't want to do that. But yeah, it's good stuff. I've been Gabe. He's been Wes. We have been the Usual Skeptics, and we'll see y'all in the next video.